In today's class, we're going to explore why perfectionism develops in the first place while preparing the fundamentals to move into half moon balancing pose. This Hatha yoga class is going to look at the fundamentals to get yourself into half moon balancing pose. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Melissa. I have been teaching Hatha yoga since 2002 here on this YouTube channel since 2009 and in our membership community since 2011. And this style of class is something that I am going to be releasing in our membership community, short classes where we look at some of the fundamentals and the progressions and regressions to get into some of the classic Hatha yoga postures in maybe a little bit more creative way. So if there's certain poses that you are trying to build to in your practice, like for example, forearm plank or downward facing dog on your forearms, then that's something that we're going to be working in building those progressions and regressions in short 30-minute classes in our membership community. And those classes will be coming out in January. So for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Thanks so much for coming back. This series is a brand new series, and it's going to be similar to series that have been highly requested, the Highly Sensitive Person series. Many of you wanted to return to that, and that's something that we'll probably do later in 2020. But for now, this series on perfectionism was something that was requested by one of our members, Kirsty, and it's going to be very similar to the Highly Sensitive Person series and the Inner Critic series, which have been very popular with my very dedicated students. And so I'm really excited to release this series for you. It takes a deep dive into Pavel Samov's book, Present Perfect. So if you'd like to follow along in Pavel Samov's book, or you like reading, I recommend the book Present Perfect, and it'll allow you to just have that book along with the teachings here in the class. Although what I hear from my students again and again is that it's useful to when you do the teachings in your body in a yoga class, it integrates in a much deeper way. So for today's class, you're going to need a block and a strap, and let's start by resting back. For some centering, you could put a bolster underneath your knees. You're going to actually need 2 blocks and a strap for this class. You can rest back with a bolster underneath your knees, or with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, or your legs out long, your palms on your belly, or your palms turned up beside you. So just start to check in with what position is going to feel best for you today. And begin by feeling the support of the earth underneath you. Letting that tension drain down and out of your body. Each time you exhale, you can release any held tension from your body. And each time you inhale, you can come more deeply into your embodied experience. Feeling your body from the inside out. So as you rest back here, become aware of your feet. Then open your awareness to your pelvis, your pelvic girdle. Noticing your spine from the base of your spine at your tailbone, your sacrum in the middle of your pelvis, your lumbar spine and your low back, your thoracic spine at your rib cage between your shoulder blades, feeling your shoulder blades resting on the ground here. And also noticing your neck. So your feet, your pelvis, your hips, your spine, your shoulders, your neck, and your head. These are the parts of your body that we will be focusing on in preparing you for half moon balancing pose. So that's our physical body. And as you stay resting back here, I'm going to say a little bit more about our mental and emotional body. Many people who are perfectionists are very conscientious, they're hardworking, and they're eager to meet other people's expectations. And part of having these very high standards for yourself means that you feel quite valuable and indispensable. Now, the downside of perfectionism is that you have to constantly strive to meet other people's expectations. So the question might come up, where does perfectionism come from? Why does perfectionism develop? And what does perfectionism stem from? Growing up, it's important that we are mirrored. That means that our actions are seen, acknowledged, and attended to. So when we're young, if we do things like eat our dinner, push a chair around, or clean our dishes, then that we are acknowledged for doing these things. And perfectionism can often be an adaptation due to a deficit of mirroring. If you grew up in a home with an insecure or a narcissistic parent, your job may have been to mirror their hungry ego. As a result, you may have adapted by trying to stand out by being perfect. So for me, it's been useful to mirror myself, to acknowledge myself, and to attend to myself and parent myself as I've grown into adulthood. So today in this class, we're going to practice half moon balancing poses, since the moon reflects the light of the sun. In this way, we can mirror our own internal and eternal light as well. As the moon reflects the light of the sun, When we practice half moon balancing posture, we can connect with our innate capacity for mirroring our own internal and eternal light, the preciousness of our own human lives, our unique value, our perfect imperfection. So that's the intention behind this class. Okay, so you can start to stretch out and, reflect on, that's my intention for the class, but you can reflect on what you want to receive from this class and why you came as well. And we're going to start with some bridge poses. So you're going to lift and spread your toes, come up onto the balls of your feet so your heels are lifted. You're going to inhale here, exhale, press up, and then you're going to inhale, lower. Exhale, press up. 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 Stay up. And then you're going to inhale, open your knees, roll to the outsides of your feet. Inhale, bring your knees together. Inhale, open your knees. Exhale, bring your knees together. Inhale, open your knees. Exhale, bring your knees together. And then you're going to slowly lower down and hug your knees into your chest. Okay, for the next pose, you're going to roll over onto your stomach. Okay, so for this one, you can place your hands by your side, and you're going to, in this pose, just tuck your chin. So maybe I go like this so you can see. So tuck your chin so the back of your neck is long. And pelvic tilt so you reach your sit bones down towards your heels. Draw your navel up. You're going to inhale here. Exhale, you're going to lift your head and then lower. Lift your head and lower. Just lift your head and lower. Exhale, lift your head and lower. Exhale, lift your head and lower. Good job. So we're doing that because in half moon balancing pose, your neck is free in the air. So we're going to be doing a lot more neck strengthening in our classes over the foreseeable future. Okay, next pose is frog bridge pose. So you're going to take your soles of your feet together and you're going to open your knees wide. And hands down by the side of your body. Draw up through your pelvic floor. Draw your navel back through your spine. You're going to inhale here. So we're just, with these poses, we're preparing our hips for half moon balancing pose. We're moving them in lots of different, we're loading them in lots of different ways. This will help to prepare us for half moon balancing pose. And that we're doing that half moon balancing pose today so that we can mirror our own experience. So that's the intention behind the class. So you're going to press into the sides of your feet, lift, exhale, lift. Feel how this works the glutes. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift and hold. and then slowly lower down. I have one student who really loves frogs, and so her name's Carla. Carla, I think you're going to love that one. Carla, let me know in the comments if you love that pose. Okay, let's go. We're going to do a core strengthening pose to prepare us for half moon balancing as well, because in order to balance, it helps to have some core strength. Also, just that pose just does require a lot of core strength. So I'm going to give you lots of options here. First option is you can take your hands overhead, thumbs point back, and your arms are going to be straight. And you can, if you keep your ribs pulling down, you can just use your arms. Okay, so that's option number 1. Okay. And you can engage your core and work like this. Keep your arms straight. Second option is, especially if you have low back issues, you can slide your opposite leg out as you do this. Okay, it might help if you had socks on and you slid your foot on the floor there. Okay, depending on how sticky your mat is, you could do that instead. Okay. A third option is you can come here, inhale to the side ribs, exhale, pull your navel down, and you can do toe taps here, okay? And take your arms back, let your arms be straight. You do opposite arm, opposite leg, okay? The final option is you're going to go back with straight arm, straight leg. Okay, so choose which one's going to work best for you today. No right or wrong, no better, best. The best one is the one that's best for you today. Inhale, exhale, reach. Arms are straight. Ribs stay down. Breathing. Nice cross body pattern here, so good for your brain. Good job. And slowly lower down and just take your legs out and have a little break. You can reach up. You're doing really well. I'm trying to mirror you. Tell you what a good job you're doing. Okay. The next one, we're going to go back to bridge. And this time what you're going to do is lift your heels. And you're going to keep your arms straight up in the air, okay? And from here, you're going to inhale. Exhale, lift up on your heels. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift up on your heels. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift up on your heels. Inhale, lower. Okay, stay up. Inhale, open your knees. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. So we're warming up the hip joint here, which will be important for when we come into the half moon balancing posture. But we're combining this with strength. So it's nice, active range of motion exercise. Okay, and then you're going to lower down and hug your knees into your chest. If you have knee issues, you're going to hold on behind your knees. Okay, for the next exercise, yoga pose, we're going to build some stability in our shoulders. So A lot of what I've been thinking about in terms of practicing yoga lately is building in regression so that as we progress in the poses, that our body is stable and strong. So this is one of those poses to do that. And what you're going to do, it's a variation on Locust Pose. You're going to lie on your belly. You're going to turn your thumbs up again, roll your shoulders back and up. Pelvic tilt, so your sit bones reach down towards your heels. Draw your navel up. Inhale here. Exhale, lift your thumbs up off the ground. And keep your shoulders pulled down away from your ears too. Okay, then you're going to relax. Just wiggle those shoulders and spine around a little bit to release. Rest here. And then you'll take your arms out into a soft T, out to the side, thumbs still point up. Roll your shoulders back and up, but keep them down away from your ears. Pelvic tilt again, draw your navel up, inhale. Exhale, lift those thumbs up off the ground. And then lower down. Again, take a break. Okay, and then we're going to make a Y shape with our arms. Again, pelvic tilt, draw the navel up, and make sure the shoulders are down away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale, lift those thumbs up the ground, off the ground, and breathe. Good, and lower down. Okay, so while you're resting, the next movement is the arms are going to be in a W shape. And this is part of what I'm hoping to share with you over the next several weeks, is putting movements back in that are really challenging in my body and showing you that I'm imperfect. So what I've noticed over the last several years, so I think maybe about 5 years ago, I got frozen shoulder and my left shoulder stopped being able to move properly. And over the years, I've slowly kind of started dropping postures so that being a yoga video teacher has its disadvantages, I guess. A lot of you have commented on how much you appreciated that I kept teaching, but in a way I kept teaching so that I favored this shoulder. And what I want to show now is me trying to still do all the things, even though this shoulder might not be able to do them properly. So I want to show my perfect imperfection, if that makes sense. And that to me aligns with our philosophy of real yoga, real people better. So building back in these poses that have kind of dropped away in trying to still look right on film for you. So that being said, my right arm will look right in this pose, but the left arm will not. And there'll be times in classes in the filming where I'll point that out if that's the case, okay? So W, now you're going to make a W shape where your elbows come down. So the Elbows come down. You make it the shape of a W with your arms. You pelvic tilt, draw your navel up. Inhale, exhale, lift the arms off the ground. So your forearms should be parallel to the ground. So we'll all have things in our bodies, right? Some of us have hip replacements. Some of us have knee issues. Some of us have low back issues. And we're all going to be perfectly imperfect. And we're all just doing the best that we can. And that's all that we can ask at any given moment, is that we do the best that we can. Okay, and then lower down, and we'll just shake that out and give it a little rest now. Okay, and I think we're going to come up onto all fours here. Nope. We're going to come into a side-lying twist now. And you're going to need a block for this, okay? So come and lie on your left side to begin. And I want you to take a block, and you're going to put the block, actually lie on your right side so I can demonstrate with the block. You're going to lie on your right side, and you're just placing this block behind your hip. And all that's there for actually is just to give you some feedback so that you know if your hips are going to start wandering, because I want you to keep your hips stacked in this. And I actually do want your head hanging down here like this. So your hands are going to be stacked, your hips are going to be stacked, your knees are going to be stacked, and this block is right here just to give you feedback so that when it travels, you feel that block traveling too, okay? So first thing that we're going to do here is just a little bit of chin tuck so the back of our neck is long, and then you're just going to lift your head. And then keeping that block there, keep the arm long, and you're just going to come open as much as you can without that block moving. So for me on this side, that's it, and that's perfect for me today. And then you're going to roll back, okay? So you want to keep those hips stacked there, and we're going for the external rotation. We're listening to the limitations of our body and honoring that. So no moving the block or knocking that block over. So one of the things that I wanted to show you guys is my own perfect imperfections here. And this is one of them, is external rotation on my left side is not that great. And that's okay too. Okay, and then the next neck move that you're going to do is you're going to lift and look up. And lower, lift and rotate your head up and lower. And then we're going to challenge that thoracic spine a little bit more. Just put your hand behind your head and you're going to rotate open. And now you get to see really how much movement you have in that thoracic spine without moving that block. So now you get to see if you're doing your twists through your lumbar spine or your thoracic spine. No right or wrong or better best, but we're just trying to get some movement here in your thoracic spine. Okay, fabulous. I'm so proud of you. Let's do this whole thing on the other side. So you're going to lie on your left side now, and you're going to set that block up right behind your pelvis on your left side, just to give you that feedback so that you know if you're moving. So just tuck it right up against your pelvis. And we started with the inhale open. I'm not sure if we started with that. And this side might be different. It might not. And you're going to rotate open as much as you can without that block moving. Okay, and then hands stacked. You're going to tuck your chin so the back of your neck is long, and you're just going to lift your head up, strengthening your neck. Our neck muscles tend to be long and weak because of head forward postures, driving, and screen time. And then I've been calling this bird wing pose. It really works, right? Inhale, open, and just feel how much different that is. You can't hide in this position, can you? You have to stay in your thoracic spine. And you can really feel yourself moving from the center of your spine here. And then that chin tuck again, and you rotate and lift. It's really good. Okay, now we're coming up to kneeling on all fours. Okay, from all fours, you could do this sitting in a chair, I think. Yeah, you can pretty much do all of these in a chair too. So spread your fingers wide, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. You're going to imagine circling your shoulder blades up and back and around. Okay, so this is one that takes me a little while to get going. So try and keep your low back still and just moving the shoulder blades, circling them up and down and around. So in half moon balancing posture, you do have that opening, one hand's on the ground, and then you open up through the opposite shoulder. So warming up shoulder and hip joints in this class. Okay, now we're going to go the other direction. So give yourself time and be patient with yourself. So with perfectionists, we expect to get, I don't know about you, but when I read this perfectionist book, I was kind of shocked how perfectionist I am. But so like for instance, right now, I expect to get this movement pattern right away. And it takes a little bit of time to lock it into my brain. I'm still not getting it. Like I was getting it this way. And now I'm trying to roll my shoulder blades the other way. So be patient with yourself, and things take as long as they take. And you don't have to give up on yourself. You can just take as long as they take. So this is the part that I mean about showing you. So in the past, I might have just stayed with this instead of showing you that I'm struggling with a movement in my body. I think I've almost got it now. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break there. That was a lot of work for my brain. And then I'm going to come back. And we're going to do some shoulder mobility. So you're going to take your arm forward with your palm facing up. And then you're going to take it back. So forward and back. And then let's do that again. So you're going to take your palm faces forward and around and back. Okay. And then you're going to come and bring your left hand behind your head. So that bird wing again. You're going to rotate open. Exhale, rotate down. Inhale, rotate open. Exhale, rotate down. Okay, let's do that on the other side. Okay, and then you're going to take your left leg to the back, slide it out to the side, and you're going to lift and lower, lift and lower. Ow. Oh, this is hurting today. Oh gosh, this is hurting today. Oh, whose idea was this anyway? Oh my gosh. Lift and lower. Oh. Okay. After you've done 5 of those, hopefully that's 5 now, we're going to come up. We're going to walk up to standing. Bring your arms out to your side. From here, you're going to inhale. You're going to exhale over your straight leg, and you get a nice side bend through your right side. Inhale, back center. Keep your core strong. You're going to exhale, tip, and you get some nice core strengthening here. Inhale, center. Exhale, nice side bend here, opening up the side body. Inhale. Exhale, tip, and core strengthening. Stay pulling up through your pelvic floor. Inhale, center. Okay, you're going to roll back down, walk your hands back out, and bring your leg in. And then you're going to slide your right leg to the back and your right leg around. You're going to exhale, lift, inhale, lower. 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 Walk your hands back. Roll up to standing on your knees. Inhale, take your arms out to the side. Breathe in. Exhale, side bend. Now you get a nice opening on the side that you were core strengthening before. Inhale, back center. And then exhale, you tip. Inhale. Okay, really good. So feeling strong through your core, feeling long through your torso. You're going to take 2 blocks or a chair. And you're going to sit on them with your legs in front of you. And you're going to we'll start with your right leg. You're going to internally rotate it and you're going to externally rotate it. So we're warming up your hip joint again in preparation for half moon balancing pose. So just again, warming up that hip joint in preparation for half moon balancing pose. So we can be our own mirrors, recognize our own inherent value. And I think part of that is taking time to do all the things like this, right? The small things that are going to make the big difference, like these hip rotations that are going to make a big difference in half moon balancing pose. So instead of just going for the pose, doing all the progressions, doing all the regressions, and taking that time to prepare for our body, to prepare our body for the pose. Okay, and then we'll do that on the other side. So you can post yourself by holding onto your right knee now, and then rotate the left leg in and open your right knee. And so this side will be different, especially at the beginning. And moving slowly through the range of motion. And a big part of perfectionism, I mean, we were only dealing with how do we get to how do we become perfectionists today? We're going to unwind it slowly, unravel the ball of perfectionism, almost like pulling at a ball of yarn. Over the next several classes, I have 14 classes for you. So over the next several months, we'll unravel the ball of yarn, but a big part of it is being with the process and not kind of rushing to the end point of the journey. And so just being with the journey, being with the pleasure of feeling the hip bone moving in the socket right now. Okay, and then we're going to come up to standing. Okay, so from standing, we're going to be doing some footwork so that you have a lot of stability in your feet when you come into your half moon balancing pose. So again, this is really part of being with the process and enjoying the journey rather than the final result. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is lift and spread your toes, and you're just going to roll in and out on your feet. Okay, then come up on the ball of your foot on one foot and circle the other way. And we'll do that on the other foot as well. And circle the other way. I had one of my main yoga teachers, Elisa Cobb at Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapy. She used to call these just as precious yoga poses. I love that. And then you're going to lift a foot and do standing foot circles. And standing foot circles, other way. Do the other foot. And other way. Okay, and then you're going to do calf raises. So you're going to come up onto your toes, onto the balls of your feet. Turn this way. And then you're going to do it with your toes in. And then do it with your toes out. And then you're going to try and do it with one foot. You can hold on to a wall or a chair if you need extra balance. But this is where it's really good idea to let yourself, or to try to let yourself be perfectly imperfect. So this has been really challenging for me to do it with one foot. And it's good to challenge yourself and allow yourself to be perfectly imperfect. And then do the other foot, one foot. It's surprisingly challenging, especially if you do them slowly. I'm going to do one more and try and do it more slowly. Yeah, so work on those one-legged ones. And then you're going to get your strap. Just put it in front of your toes. And you're going to use your toes to just pull the strap towards you. This is often done with a towel. But you could even pick up your mat. That would work. They're just toe scrunches. Works better with the mat. So try and pick up the mat with your toes. And then do it with your other foot. Oh, this foot is not as strong to pick up the mat. Okay, good job. For the next one, you're going to need you can put your strap off to the side. You're going to need your blocks. And you can put your blocks side by side. You're going to stand on your blocks with your balls of your feet on and your heels off. And you're going to do those calf raises again. And then you're going to drop down, let your heels drop down so you get a calf stretch. So up and down. I find this more challenging. I don't know about you. Again, you can hold on to a wall or a chair. So this is all good to get your feet working. And it'll help you when it comes to balancing in half moon. And then you can turn your toes in and do the same thing. And we're going to turn our toes out, so it might need more room. So I'm going to turn the blocks. So your toes are wide, your heels are in on this one. And you're going to lower your heels and lift. Lower your heels and lift. Great, so your feet get a lot of work in all those different positions. Got one more, and they're more for your hip. Okay, so stand on the block with your right foot, and you'll just start by swinging your left leg forward and back. Put your hands on your hips if you want, or out to the side. You want to feel space being created in your left hip joint. And then you're going to circle your left leg. Stay still through your core, so keep your torso still. Circle it the other way. And then we'll do bent knee. Lift it up and around, and up and back. Up and around, up and back. Up and around, up and back. Up and around. Okay, and then we'll turn around. So now you're standing on the block with your left foot. Remember to keep breathing. And you'll swing your right leg now. And then you can do circles. Stay tall through your torso, stay strong through your core. Circle the other way. And then you're going to do bent knees, so up and around, and up and back. Up and around, and up and back. Up and around, and up and back. Keep breathing. One more. Okay. All right, from here, are you ready? You're almost there, we're almost there. We're going to do one more pose, and then we're going to come into half moon balancing. Okay, from here, stand up facing the long edge of your mat. Take your feet wide, and then turn your left toes out, your right toes in. You're going to sink down through your left sit bone. Bring your arms up parallel to the mat. And just notice how stable you feel in your warrior two posture here. And how strong you feel from the ground up, through your hips, through your core, through your torso, from spending all that time building these postures. And then all you're going to do is shift up onto your front right foot, and you're just going to tip this whole thing so that you come into a kind of half moon balancing posture. And we're going to let ourselves be perfectly imperfect here too. So we're going to tip and balance. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to shift and turn our warriors the other way. So feel that stability of the posture again. And then we're going to tip up, feeling that stability. So we're tipping the whole thing up again. and coming into a half moon, balancing posture on this side. And again, we're letting it be perfectly imperfect. We're just playing in the pose. And then tipping back into the warrior two. Okay? And then we'll come into, we maybe use a block or a chair, and we'll try the half moon balancing posture. So we'll fold forward over the block, and you're going to, or the chair, you can put a chair here, and you can inhale, you can lift your back left leg up, rotate open over your right hip, and open up. And we did all that work with your neck too, so you can even try rotating with your neck, which makes it more challenging for your balance, but we're willing to be perfectly imperfect here too, right? We're not aiming for perfection. We're gonna try things here too. We're not trying to take Instagram photos, right? We're just trying to try the poses, and we know that we've prepared our necks so we can experiment. We prepared our hips so you can roll your hips. We prepared our thoracic spine so you can roll your thoracic spine. And then the last thing you can try is rolling your head. And really what we're going to discover over the next few weeks is that it's not about a perfect outcome, but it's about our experience all along the way. And that's what I'm hoping to impress upon you over the next 14 weeks. So let's try this on the other side. You're going to come into that standing forward fold again. And you're going to take your right leg up this time. Roll over your hip bones so your hips had a lot of time to warm up here. You open up your thoracic and your shoulders, which are nice and warmed up. And then that last piece is the neck, which also had a lot of preparation and warm up too. Okay, that's really good. And I just really want to impress upon you that we had a good time all the way through the class, and we're not concerned about the outcome of the final posture, right? Let's just really be with that in our experience today. So let's come down and take our feet in front of us. Hopefully you had a good time in the class. I had a good time. Thought there was a lot of fun moves in there, a lot of fun variations on your yoga poses. You're going to cross your right leg over your left. You can leave your left leg long, or you can bend your left leg in, wrap your right arm around your left leg, come into a twist here. And then come back to the center. We'll take our legs out this time. Maybe just give them a little nice wiggle out. Cross your left leg over your right. Keep your right leg extended if you wish. Or you can bend your right leg in, wrap your right arm around your left leg and turn towards it. And just notice how nice and gooey this twist is because of all that movement we did with your shoulders and your thoracic spine. So see how good it feels to spend time in the journey. And then you can make your way down to lying down on your back for Shavasana. This is really important today to receive your experience. That was a lot of all those remedial movements through your feet, through your hips, through your spine, through your shoulders. That's a lot for your physical body to integrate. So let's just give our bodies some time to integrate all of that. And to mirror ourselves, to acknowledge ourselves for this experience, taking the time to stay with the journey today. So continue resting back here in Shavasana, and I'm going to sit up and read you a poem. This poem is called The Astronomer by Khalil Gibran. In the shadow of the temple, my friend and I saw a blind man sitting alone. And my friend said, "Behold the wisest man of our land." Then I left my friend and approached the blind man and greeted him, and we conversed. After a while I said, "Forgive my question, but since when hast thou been blind?" "From my birth," he answered. Said I, "And what path of wisdom followest thou?" Said he, "I am an astronomer." Then he placed his hand on his heart and said, "I watch all these suns and moons and stars." So in this class, I want to acknowledge you for finding your own intrinsic worth and not relying on external validation, which is like trying to fill your hollow leg with compliments. The practices that you do here with yoga and meditation will fill you from the inside in a meaningful way, much more than any external validation ever will. So gradually start to wiggle and stretch out and take a deep breath. And then you're going to bend your knees and roll to your side. And slowly make your way up to seated. And we'll finish our class by gathering the fruits of our practice into ourselves and then offering them out into the world with our mudra series. So left palm up, right palm down, making space with breath and a sigh. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. So give yourself a thumbs up for mirroring your own internal self-worth. And put, I am reflecting my own internal light in the comments. And for those of you that like the mudra series and enjoy mudras, I have a gift for you. If you go to melissawest.com/mudras, then you can put your email in and I'll send you a PDF download of my 9 favorite, the 9 most requested mudras. And something that I've really been enjoying doing in our membership community is putting together series of mudras where something like that, where the mudras flow together with a theme. So I've done a letting go one and an integration one, and planning on adding others to our community as well. I want to thank Donna and Ruth, Paige. Donnas are very generous. One of the Donnas, you know who you are. She donated $100 just recently, and with that $100, I want to say thank you so much because Trinity and I, Trinity's my daughter, we went halvesies on a new pair of Doc Martens for her. So we're just a small little business. We're not a big thing. It's just Tim, myself, and my daughter, and some people from our Yes, our daughter. Yes, our daughter. Yeah. And there's a couple of people in our membership community that help us out too. But what I wanted to say is that, do you remember getting your first pair of docs? I think everybody can remember that. And so she got her first pair of docs. We went halvesies on that, and Donna, Tim.
I was 35 when I got my first pair.
Yeah, I haven't got my first pair yet. I'm still wishing for my first pair. But so it was really special. And so thank you, Donna. That was really special for her. Also, thanks to Jane and Carla for your donations. You are all so generous in supporting us and keeping Yoga with Melissa going. We also purchased a new stabilizer for Tim's camera. And this was something that we're going to be taking with us to California when we go in January to be able to get establishing shots to show you the scenery, especially when we're filming outside more of our locations. A lot of you speak a lot about how much you enjoy the locations of where we film. Like here we're filming in Victoria, BC, but right now it's wet and cold out. So we have a few weeks where we have to be inside right now. And also one of the things that we're saving up for right now is this super small drone because as I said, many of you have said how much you love our filming on location and getting scenery shots, and those establishing shots overhead are just gorgeous. There's been a lot of restrictions on flying the drones. So these new really tiny drones fall within the guidelines, so we'll be able to use that. And also, you guys see that when we go out filming, we have to pack in a lot, and so having a really small drone that we can just stick in a pocket will make it a lot easier for us. So yeah, it's $400. So that's what we're saving up for right now, and I think it'll really be great going into spring and summer, and also for California when we're filming there. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for your donations for the stabilizer and batteries and all of that. We really appreciate it. So we're sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our ocean. May you be as rooted as the old growth trees in our forest. And may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti. Namaste.